Yes guys, welcome back to Football Lounge and welcome back to a new video on the channel. Today is a big video. Chelsea are making signings, we're spending money again and here's my thoughts. I will say with the signings of Gittens and Pedro, I do think we have become stronger and we've got a lot of attacking options now. And we've got a lot of players that can kind of interchange positions, playing different spaces, half spaces, and things like that. But I want to kind of dive deep into how I think they will fit into Maresca's system. So I think this is one of the options, a 4-3-3, something that Maresca will usually play. And also Gittens to play as a winger on the left, and he's normally at his best when he's used as like a touchline winger. So basically staying out wide and taking his man on. And I think Gittens will also be good in this system because he can press, which is what Maresca likes. He likes players that can press and, lead the press. So I think this would be Gittens' probably best role. And that obviously Palmer can play on the right as well, even though most of the time Palmer does play through the middle and obviously Delap up front. And then you've got that midfield three of Lavia, Xeda and Enzo, and whenever we have those three midfield, we're really solid. So with Joao Pedro in the team, I think it's a bit different because he can play multiple positions. He doesn't really have a preferred position. He's more a player that can play across the whole kind of front line. But I think Pedro could be used as a striker sometimes. If Delap's not playing and if Jackson's not going to play, Pedro could play there. And him and Palmer kind of interchange positions. And it's something that Maresca may try. I think Joao Pedro could even play in this Club World Cup, guys, so Maresca may experiment with him up front. So this formation is basically the same as the 4-2-3-1, but it's kind of two strikers up front, so 4-4-2. And it's something that Maresca has been trying, and I think Joao Pedro would work in a two-striker kind of formation because he likes to obviously, like in Kingu almost, he likes to basically play as like a centre forward, link up with his man. So it could be Pedro Neto it could be Joao Pedro and Jackson sometimes up front, or Delap, and then maybe Palmer could play on the wing, Neto can also play on the wing. And maybe sometimes Gittens will not actually start him because Gittens is only 20 years old, he's still a young player. So he's one of the signings where he's going to need time. And he's going to need time to develop. Joao Pedro, he's still young as well, 23, but you kind of know what to expect from him more than Gittens. But I do think we can expect a lot of movement and a lot of interchange in our front line. I think we're going to have a lot of kind of Rest is going to have to experiment a bit, and I do think this season, I don't think these signings are going to, make us win the league or anything, but I do think we can expect an improvement from last season, and I do think we can obviously finish in top four again, hopefully in a better position though. And I do think, I'm excited because the team has a lot of chemistry and they're starting to gel with one another and starting to improve overall. So I do think we could be dangerous next season. So I've kind of screenshotted here Joao Pedro's stats in his 2 seasons playing the Premier League, obviously for Brighton, and you can see he will kind of score some goals. I kind of expect around double digits for Chelsea next season. And I think Joao Pedro, off the bench, I think he will help us. He will contribute with goals and assists. but is he the level we need to win the Premier League and push on? I don't know, guys. I do think it's a good signing, though. I'm happy with the signing, but I think next season again is going to be a season where we'll improve. We will, um, be danger to other teams, but whether we'll win leagues and I don't know. So here, Jamie Gittens stats for Dortmund. And look, it may not look like the most impressive thing you've seen, but I think Gittens is still young. And last season, he had his, 24, 25, if you want to count that as last season, he had his best season for Dortmund in terms of goals and assists, especially in that first half of the season. And Gittens, look, I have to say though, it is a risk because for the money he pays for him, around 55 million or whatever, it's a lot of money, and like it could turn out to be a really good signing, and it could turn out to be never flop. So it's one of those where you're hoping that he develops into like a really good player, but if he doesn't develop and do that, then you probably have to look at selling him again, and you're back in the same thing of being kind of a good team, but not on that level of City and Liverpool. But yeah. So this leads me to the point again. Will Madueke be leaving Chelsea? Because right now I don't see any space for him. Because the way Maresca wants to play is he wants players that can interchange positions and, kind of relying more on tactical kind of sense in terms of Madueke. He likes to take on his player and he's more of a wild card than maybe someone that will, like a Joao Pedro who fits into Maresca's system. And I think Madueke, I do like him, but his attitude sometimes is just not good, and I just don't see any space for him. So Arsenal, they do need a winger, and Madueke can play both wings, and he can cover for Saka, and he could play on the left if Martinelli's not performing. So I think Madueke could be on the move to Arsenal.